Now that you have successfully deployed your distributed vSwitch and customized your dport group settings, it's time to move to the next phase of building your ESXi underlay by adding and managing hosts. By now, hopefully you have settled on a strategy of whether you want to build a single SCC standalone instance or a SCCHA cluster. In a single SCC standalone instance, only one hypervisor will host your ESXi underlay network, so therefore just one managed host will be required and added to your VDS and standard switch underlay architecture. If you choose to deploy a SCCHA cluster implementation, both hypervisors will share your ESXi underlay network, thus requiring you to add both hypervisors as a shared resource for both the standard switch and VDS. Traffic will flow across both VMware switches that are members of your underlay network. The SCC cluster heartbeat traffic will stay contained within your ESXi underlay network to maintain cluster redundancy. If Docker container traffic or the SCC kernel itself needs to pull down software dependencies from the internet, they will rely on their top-of-rack switch underlay network to do so. All SCC overlay workloads will still utilize the private top-of-rack management switch underlay for traffic forwarding. VMware has a very attractive feature called vMotion, where you can migrate hosts from one hypervisor to the other. If you had some forethought and built your VMware cluster strategy utilizing a shared data store of vSAN, you're able to achieve this goal. That being said, you may want to experiment moving SCC instances between both host and data store migrations to determine if your HA strategy is sound. It doesn't make sense if you built your HA SCC cluster on the same ESXi hypervisor underlay network, because now your bare metal hypervisor becomes a single point of failure. Think through a strategy of potentially deploying each ESXi hypervisor underlay network across racks where PDUs are independent of each other, thus maximizing your strategy of anti-infinity. On the other hand, moving SCC instances on the same hypervisor would only be recommended if you need to perform some kind of maintenance for that bare metal host itself. Congratulations! Now you've built your ESXi underlay network and you're ready to move to the next phase of instantiating Ubuntu 18.04 LTS guest instances. Your guest instances will require two adapters of type E1000 characteristic. One external facing adapter VNIC that connects to your management underlay network, allowing physical access to the internet to pull down software dependencies, and the other physical adapter VNIC that connects to the private management switch underlay network. A common mistake of administrators is to connect the VNIC to the wrong vPort of your VMware switches. An easy test is simply log into the Ubuntu instance and issue a ping to 8.8.8.8 and verify access to the internet is achievable.